Today, we talked about how you think, right? And how your thinking, negatively or positively, can affect you in the bedroom sexually. Today, I want to sort of take a different approach, but we're still on, of course, what's going on in the brain, what's going on with your thinking. But I want to find out whether you know, are you sexually inhibited or sexually excited in the bedroom? Okay, so let's process that. Hmm, are we sexually inhibited? Meaning we really do not respond as well or as much as we would like. Or are you sexually excited? You respond a lot. And the question is how much? Is it too much to be too highly excited? Let's find out because I have a study by Bancroft and Jansen back in 2000. They made an assumption. They actually found out or believe that your sexual arousal, remember we talked about sexual arousal, we talked about the different stages of the sexual response cycle. So the whole thing is really an arousal game, okay? And so Bancroft and Jansen believe that your sexual arousal response is actually a play of inhibition and excitation in the brain, mechanisms going on in the brain, chemicals, reactions going on in the brain, from everything going on sexually. There's a balance of are you going to have more inhibition during sexual excitement and activity or less inhibition and more excitation during sexual activity? So when you're in the throes of passion, are you more excited? Are you getting more excited, getting to where we want to go, the big orgasm? Or are you inhibited, meaning are you sort of like turned off? Are things like going on a downhill slope instead of going on an uphill, right? Cascade reactions, right? Getting more excited, getting more aroused, fantasies, all those things going on. What's going on in the bedroom with you? So you already know, are you inhibited? Meaning, oh man, this thing is just turning off. Why are you turning off? And then you know that you're not going to get your orgasm. Or are you easily excited and you get your orgasm? So they came up with a scale called the sexual inhibitory scale or inhibition scale and the sexual excitation scale. And I have it for you. We're going to go through it. There's a long version of 45 questions. We're not doing the 45 questions. We're going to do the 14 question one. And I want to go through them one by one with you because I think it's really important to see how this can really be applied to us individually. This is for men and women, okay? And their scale actually has a look at two inhibitory factors and one excitation factors. And you'll see that when I ask the questions or when we talk about the questions. Now, it is a 4-point scale, okay? Meaning that you're going to say either respond A, strongly agree, B, agree, C, disagree, D, strongly disagree. All right? I'm going to say it again. You're going to respond to the 14 questions, choosing one of the four, and it's each has a point. A, strongly agree, B, agree, C, disagree, and D, strongly disagree. Okay, so this is coming from Bancroft and Jansen. They actually really, made this questionnaire for those that have arousal issues. Now, if you don't have an arousal issue, you're fine. But here's a question: are you aware of how aroused you're getting? And I think everyone can say that they've had times that they're not that aroused versus other times, right? It varies. I'm going to read some instructions for you first. In this questionnaire, you will find statements about how you might react to various sexual situations, activities, or behaviors. Obviously, how you react will often depend on the circumstances, but we are interested in what would be the most likely reaction for you. Please read each statement carefully and decide how you would be most likely to react. Then circle the number that corresponds with your answer. Please try to respond to every statement. Sometimes you may feel that none of the responses seems completely accurate. Sometimes you may read a statement that you feel is not applicable. In these cases, please circle the response you would choose if it were applicable to you. In many statements, you will find words describing reactions such as sexually aroused or sometimes just aroused. With these words, we mean to describe feelings of sexual excitement. So when we say aroused, we're saying, how sexually excited are you? Feeling sexually stimulated. Are you feeling sexually stimulated? That's what they want to know. Horny, hot, or turned on. That's what they want to know. Are you horny, hot, or turned on? Don't think too long before answering. Please give your first reaction. Try to not skip any questions. Try to be as honest as possible. Here we go. Number one. All right, remember, we're going to say A, B, C, D. A is I strongly agree. B is I agree. C is I disagree. And D is I strongly disagree. Okay, number one. When a sexually attractive stranger accidentally touches me, I easily become aroused. Okay, guys? Okay, now that's sort of weird, right? All right. When a sexually attractive stranger accidentally touches me, I easily become aroused. I strongly agree is A, agree is B, C, disagree, D, strongly disagree. Now, I can answer these questions too, right? And maybe I should, but no, I don't want to get this to be about me. This is about you. So here, whichever answer you choose, obviously, and I'm going to say this as a safety measure, you don't want to be highly excited, horny, turned on when a stranger touches you. So you really are going to probably want to answer something more higher on the letters, right? But whatever you answer, just know this is something assessing your excitation. It is assessing how easily excited you get. Okay? So just answer your own questions. These are for guys and for girls. Number two, if I'm having sex in a secluded outdoor place and I think that someone is nearby, I am not likely to get very aroused. Okay? Is that strongly you agree with that? Agree, disagree, or strongly disagree? Okay? Number three, when I talk to someone on the telephone who has a sexy voice, I become sexually aroused. Strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. Number four, I cannot get aroused unless I focus exclusively on sexual stimulation. That means when you're in the bedroom and you are being touched in the erogenous zones, you're being kissed, you're being, just basically, hit on, right? In number four, they're saying you cannot get aroused unless you focus on sexual stimulation, which means it's really hard. You've got to make your mind focus. And so if you say that this is something you agree with, you're going to choose A. Strongly agree is A, agree is B, disagree is C, strongly disagree is D. Number five, if I am masturbating on my own and I realize that someone is likely to come into the room at any moment, I will lose my erection or my sexual arousal. Remember, this is for guys and girls. A, strongly agree. B, agree. C, disagree. D, strongly disagree. Now, again, with this one, I do think it would be natural if someone came into the room, right? And when I say natural, I don't like that word natural. I mean, it would be a usual response to say, uh-oh, someone's come to the room, let me stop. I think Some of us might have experienced that. And that would, again, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's just a question of where do you lie on this, again, spectrum or this scale. Okay. Number 6, if I realize there is a risk of catching an STD, sexually transmitted disease, I am unlikely to stay sexually aroused. Okay. Makes sense. But you got to choose. I agree strongly. I agree, disagree, strongly disagree. Number 7, if I can be seen by others while having sex, I am unlikely to stay sexually aroused. Unlikely to stay sexually aroused. You either strongly agree, you agree, disagree, or again strongly disagree. A, B, C, D. Each one is a point. Number 8, when I think of a very attractive person, I easily become sexually aroused. When I think of a very attractive person, so if we have any celebrities that you guys love, right? I easily become sexually aroused. A, strongly agree. B, agree. C, disagree. And D, strongly disagree. All right, we've got like 5 more to go. Actually, 6 more to go. Number 9, once I have an erection, this is for guys, I want to start intercourse right away before I lose my erection. Once I am sexually aroused, this is for women, I want to start intercourse right away before I lose my arousal. Okay, so this is all part of number 9. A, B, C, or D. Strongly agree, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. All right, A, B, C, D. Once I have an erection, I want to start intercourse right away before I lose my erection. Okay, do you strongly agree with that? Or once I am sexually aroused, I want to start intercourse right away before I lose my arousal. You strongly agree? Just go to those A, B, C, Ds. Number 10. When I start fantasizing about sex, right? We're supposed to be fantasizing about sex, right? I quickly become sexually aroused. A, strongly agree. B, agree. C, disagree. D, strongly disagree. Number 11, when I see others engaged in sexual activities, I feel like having sex myself. Ooh, that's an important question, guys. A, strongly agree. B, agree. C, disagree. D, strongly disagree. Number 12, when I have a distracting thought, I easily lose my erection or my arousal. A, strongly agree. B, agree. C, disagree. D, strongly disagree. Number 13, if I am distracted by hearing music, the television, or a conversation, I am unlikely to stay aroused. A, B, C, D. Strongly agree over to strongly disagree. And the last one, number 14, when an attractive person flirts with me, I can easily become sexually aroused. Very important question. Okay. When an attractive person flirts with me, I easily become sexually aroused. Do you? If you do you strongly agree with that? You agree? That would be B. Disagreed would be C. And D would be strongly disagree. So again, each mark that you choose or each letter that you choose has a value. So it's going to be something that you'll notice immediately when you get your score. You'll be able to know whether you're on the right side or left side, okay? Studies show, of course, in the females, right, that we are higher than the men in, you can guess, sexual inhibition. So according to the studies that they've done, our sexual inhibition scores are higher and our sexual excitation scores are lower. And I'm not surprised because that's why I see patients in my practice. They have strong inhibitions and weak excitations. Remember, it's a chemical process going on in the brain. So you want to be able to know what is causing that, affecting your sexual arousal or your orgasm. Okay? Now, As you can imagine, there are so many reasons that could be going on. I always say that, multitude of reasons. But we want to know what your reason is. So that is just one scale. There are tons of them. I'm going to go over a few of them over the next few days. But I wanted to focus on the arousal or the excitatory or the inhibitory response, because I want you to know factually, are you the sexually excited lady or man, or are you the sexually inhibited lady or man? Okay, because if you're inhibited, there's something you can do. If you're too excited, there's something you can do also. Okay, and we can talk about that in a future talk. I do have another scale that was done more recently. I'm not going to go into too much of the details, but I wanted to read some of the questions to you because this is more uh, categorized in certain topics that I think would be interesting for you to know. For example, this is by Kinsey, by the way. Kinsey, Cynthia Graham, Stephanie Saunders, and Robin Milhausen, 2005. Okay, the other one was 2000. So this is a little bit more recent. 2005, 2006. There was I think, update. No, published 2006 at Springer Science and Business. Okay, so again, if you want these articles, let me know. This one's really cool because it gives us different areas that they look at. I'm just going to let you know the areas. Arousability. All right, already did some of that, right? I'm just going to just tell you, they talked about when I think about someone I find sexually attractive, I become aroused. Fantasizing about sex can quickly get me sexually excited. I like that. Fantasizing about sex can, excuse me, can quickly get me sexually aroused. Love that. Okay. Again, if you're not fantasizing, that's an issue. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. All right. Under this same category, certain hormonal changes definitely increase my sexual arousal, right? Depending on the time of the month. Sometimes I get attracted to someone, I cannot stop myself from becoming sexually aroused. I get very turned on when someone wants me sexually. Ooh, I love that question. Okay. This article has 114 questions, 115 questions. We're not going through all of that. We're just going to give you some of the interesting ones. All right. I get very turned on when someone wants me sexually. If I see someone dressed in a sexy way, I easily become sexually aroused. Interesting, especially for the guys, right? Just being physically close with the partner is enough to turn me on. Ooh. Seeing an attractive partner's naked body really turns me on. I like that question. With a new partner, I'm easily aroused. All right, so that was the arousability. Sexual power dynamics. That's another category here in this new article, or newer article. Feeling overpowered in a sexual situation by someone I trust increases my arousal. Isn't that interesting? It turns me on if my partner talks dirty to me during sex. Love it. Love that question. Again, this was not in the original model or the original SIS and SES. So this one is a little bit of an improved version of that, right? And I like these questions. That's why I want to treat it to you. I love that. If a partner is forceful during sex, it reduces my arousal. Interesting question. Good to know. Excuse me. Dominating my partner is arousing to me. Also good to know. Love it. See, there's a little bit more, a lot more detail, not a little bit. Smell, another category. Often just how someone smells can be a turn on. I love that. Okay, again, very important to know. Particular scents are very arousing to me. I'm sure you already know that, right? All right, partner characteristics, a real cool one. Seeing a partner doing something that shows her talent can make me very sexually aroused. Wow, love that question. If I see a partner interacting well with others, I am more easily sexually aroused. Cool. Someone doing something that shows he or she is intelligent turns me on. Ooh, I love that question. Eye contact with someone I find sexually attractive really turns me on. Ooh, I can see the smiles of some of y'all. All right. All right. Another category, setting unusual or unconcealed. Ooh. Having sex in a different setting than usual is a real turn on for me. Love that question. I find it harder to get sexually aroused if other people are nearby. Very important question. I get really turned on if I think I might get caught while having sex. Another important question. If it is possible someone might see or hear us having sex, it is more difficult for me to get aroused. Good question. Okay, and again, these two, they also have their uh, range of questions, but I just wanted to talk about the different topics that you're aware. Again, if you want the article, let me know. All right, so those are the excitation factors. I have 3 categories left, and then we'll call it a night. Sexual inhibition factors, relationship importance. I really need to trust a partner to become fully aroused. That's a biggie. If I think I'm being used sexually, it completely turns me off. Duh, right? It is easier for me to become aroused with someone who has relationship potential. Mm. It would be hard for me to become sexually aroused with someone who is involved with another person. Wow. I would never have thought of that question in any way or shape or form because this happens all the time. If I'm uncertain about how a partner feels about me, it is harder for me to get aroused. Good question. If I think a partner might hurt me emotionally, I put the brakes on sexually. Good decision. Again, it's going to give you a scale. Arousal contingency. Unless things are just right, it is difficult for me to become sexually aroused. See, you've got to know that. You're going to find out how much does that affect you. Remember, you don't want to be at the ends of the scale. You want to sort of at the end be in the middle after the evaluation is done. If I am uncertain about how a partner feels about me, it is harder for me to get aroused. If I think a partner might hurt me emotionally, I put the brakes on sexually. Arousal contingency. Did I just do that? No, I didn't. So we're going to do arousal contingency inhibition parts, factors. Unless things are just right, it is difficult for me to become sexually aroused. When I am sexually aroused, the slightest thing can turn me off. It is difficult for me to stay sexually aroused. Good question. All right, 4 more statements and I'll call it a night. If I am worried about this is under concern about sexual function, if you're worried about your sexual abilities. If I am worried about taking too long to become aroused, this can interfere with my arousal. I really do think that does affect a lot of us. If I think about whether I will have an orgasm, it is much harder for me to become aroused. Ooh, good question. Sometimes I feel so shy or self-conscious during sex that I cannot become fully aroused. Or if I am concerned about being a good lover, I am less likely to become aroused. So that's the worry, anxiety part, concern part. Okay. So this was a more detailed evaluation for your arousal, excitement, inhibition. So the question is, where do you fall? I wanted to go through that with you because I want you to understand that really there's no right or wrong answer, but there is a way of improving your scores or your state of inhibition or excitation if it's off balance, right? And that is why I wanted to bring this to your attention. Take note, you have any questions, shoot me some questions. I can answer some questions. But tonight, I want you to go to bed thinking about where you fall and seeing how we can improve it if we need to. Okay? All right, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.